before you think of dropping any shit again. Even when you do drop, they gon' say you should've modeled cause it's mid again.
My name is Timmy Too Dope, and this is my review of A$AP Rocky, Don't Be Dumb. First things first, let's talk about the negatives, because there's far less that I didn't like about this album than what I did like about this album. So let's get the negatives out of the way first. So me personally, I had tempered expectations going into this album. I've said it a few times on this channel. Admittedly, I'm not the biggest A$AP Rocky fan, so tempered expectations going into this album. And during the rollout, from what I gathered, it was gonna be an experimental type album, kind of similar to his Testing album, and it would be expanding over multiple genres. So when I had that in mind going into this album, after the first time listening to it, I was kind of disappointed that he didn't lean a little bit more into the experimentation. To be fair, he did give us the traditional type rap. He got into his jazz rap bag on Robbery with Doechii. He got into his romantic rap bag. He gave us some punk rock on Punk Rocky. He dipped into an EDM type bag on a few joints as well. But when I go into this album expecting a whole bunch of genres, I was kind of expecting a country joint with someone like Shaboozey maybe. I was expecting a rage type record, and he kind of dabbled in a little bit, but maybe feature someone like Playboi Carti, maybe a ballad or something with a pop star. Get into your funk bag with somebody like Thundercat. Just when I expect multiple genres, I expect you to go all the way with it. I did also hear an Afrobeats type record that he dropped on the deluxe, or I think he's dropping like a second disc for Don't Be Dumb as well. And I did hear an Afrobeats style track on that. So maybe on the second disc, he is dipping into a little more bags, a little more genres. And ultimately, even if I don't love those records, I would have appreciated the attempt. This was a gumbo of an album. I was just expecting a few more ingredients. Also, I wasn't a big fan of the second half of this album, Robbery not included. Now moving on to the positives. Overall, I really enjoyed this album, a lot more than I expected to going into this album, especially tracks 1 through 11. I think that was the best portion of this album, or the best half of this album. Of course, the major talking point coming out of this album is Still Your Flow, because he's dissing Drake, allegedly, on this track. And we're not gonna spend a whole bunch of time talking about the Drake diss or Still Your Flow, but the one thing I do want to bring up is I don't think I've ever listened to a Drake track and thought, damn, that kind of sounds like A$AP Rocky's flow. I don't even know what A$AP Rocky's signature flow is. So what flow did Drake steal? The two singles, Punk Rocky and Helicopter, are polar opposites as far as sonics go, but both enjoyable in their own rights and great choices for the first singles. Stay Here for Life with Brent Faiyaz might be my favorite A$AP track of all time, and it's definitely in large part due to that amazing Brent Faiyaz hook. The track Playa almost serves as a mentality and life update for A$AP and where he's been the last 8 years or so, and it really proves that he's grown and matured into a very present and dedicated family man. And then in my opinion, the best 3-song run on this entire album, No Trespassing, Stop Snitching, and STFU, just bring the same energy and attitude that I think made a lot of people fall in love with A$AP when he first came out. And that Sauce Walka verse might be verse of the year. There are rumors and seemingly confirmation from the man himself on the Joe Budden podcast that there's a disc 2 or a deluxe version coming out. He was also teasing bringing Rihanna out of retirement for one of those tracks, but I wouldn't hold my breath. Rocky dropped a really enjoyable, versatile, rock solid body of work. I couldn't be happier for him and his fans. Let me know your thoughts, opinions, feelings, and everything in between down in the comments. Hit that subscribe button for more album reviews. And as always, if it's not too dope, then it's probably mids.